Great, wonderful. So I guess, yeah, today is the 24th of April. I mean, time is flying. The year is going pretty quickly. So Jenny and Lena, welcome. And today we're going to discuss a couple of things, and we're going to also have a little competition where you'll both get to prepare a speech, and I will give you an evaluation and some feedback that you could maybe use to continue improving your public speaking and presentation skills. So without further ado, I am going to share my screen so that we can get started. And let's see, here we go. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about work-life integration. And I'm sure it's a very relevant topic for you in Vietnam as well, because the new normal is setting in. You're now going to have more gatherings and things like that. And this is after a very long time of working from home. So working from home, you've had to integrate your life and your work. And now it seems that it might have to be separate again. Or the question is, will it? So for my opening speech, I would like to share a little bit of a story of something that happened not too long ago. So one day I was sitting at the office. It was a Friday afternoon. I used to work in advertising. And that Friday evening, I had planned an event that I was going to do with a few colleagues of mine. It was going to be a music show. And we had some artists that came from outside the country, and we sold tickets, and it was going to be a very big night. Now, the only problem was I didn't know I was going to work late that day, but the work kept piling on and the deadlines were coming closer and closer. So the office decided we're going to work a bit late. And that stressed me out because on my life side, I needed to be at this show because I was the host. I was one of the main organizers, and it wasn't going to start without me. And then on the other hand, we have all of this work that we need to do, and it's my job. I cannot just walk away from it. The work needed to be done. So I did my best to work as quickly as I could, and I just kept pushing. And everything that I thought I would do, go home, take a shower, get ready and dressed, and then go to the show, I couldn't do that anymore. I was thinking just finish work and go straight to the show. My boss came over to my desk and saw that I was really stressing out, that I was not going to deliver my best work. And he decided, you know what, go and do what you have to do. It's Friday evening. I know you have an event. Go and do that, and then come back tomorrow morning and finish off. I thought that was a good idea. So I went to the show. It was a successful show. And next morning, I went right back to the office and started working. But while I was working, my phone rang, and it was my son. And my son said, "Dad, where are you?" And I said, "Well, I'm at the office." And he said, "So what time are you taking me to my friend's birthday party?" I had totally forgotten about my son's friend's party. And I asked him, "What time is the party?" He said it's going to be at 10 o'clock. And I said, "Okay, great. I'll pick you up and I'll take you there." So I thought that gave me enough time to do a little bit more work. I got into the car, went to pick him up. And as we're driving to the party, he said, "Dad, you forgot to go to the mall. You said we were going to buy the present before the party." And again, I'm thinking, I need to get back to the office. Now I need to buy a present. We rush into the mall. We look for a present, buy it, get it packed up, jump back into the car, get to the party about an hour late. The other parents are there, they're sitting down, they're enjoying a conversation, the children are playing, and they ask me to join them. And I say, I'm sorry, I can't join you today. I need to get back to the office. Halfway back to the office, I get a phone call. It's my boss. You're not here. I thought you were going to finish the work. Where are you? And I'm stressing and I'm like, I'm on my way. I'll be there in 5 minutes. I just had to do something quickly. I get to the office. I start working. As soon as I get into the zone, I get another phone call. The birthday party is over and I need to go and pick up my son. And I jump back in the car. And you can imagine how stressful that day was. And someone would say, I was struggling to strike a balance between life and work. My life-work balance was not working or balancing at all. But there's something that I want us to think about. Is it really work-life balance that we need to figure out? Because if I don't work, I won't be able to drive my son to his birthday party because I wouldn't be able to have fuel for my car, or I wouldn't even have a car. And if it wasn't for my work, I wouldn't be able to buy a present. And if it wasn't for my work, I wouldn't be able to make my connections and network with people and also have the finances to invest into having events and creating engagements and things like that. So it's not work versus life. It's actually work and life go together. And this is why the term work-life integration seems to be more appropriate than work-life balance. Because work-life integration is finding a way that your work and your life can coexist without having to separate you or split you into half. We have seen it during COVID. I did a lot of work with my daughter sitting on my lap. I wrote a lot of reports like that. In fact, sometimes my daughter would be sleeping in my arms while I'm on a Zoom call and should be quiet, fast asleep, and I continue doing my work. We were forced to do work-life integration. And maybe it could be a thing that we continue, even though we're moving into the new normal. So here's my thing. I believe that the stress that comes from work versus life is not because they're against each other, but it's because of the relationships that we're trying to manage. If I didn't have an event that Friday night and I didn't promise that I'll be the host and that I didn't have guests coming from outside the country, if I didn't have that, I wouldn't be stressing to work late. There would be no reason for me to worry. If my son didn't have a birthday party to go to and I didn't promise to get him a present, I wouldn't be stressed because I wouldn't have to rush to avoid disappointing my son. And if I didn't leave the office and my boss called me and said, "Where are you?" I wouldn't be panicking because I wouldn't have gone anywhere. He wouldn't have to look for me and I wouldn't be worried about upsetting my employer. And finally, when I got to the birthday party and all of my friends are sitting there watching their kids play and having a good conversation and bonding, I wouldn't have felt bad for missing that because I wouldn't have had to worry about that. So at the end of the day, I believe it's about managing relationships. And if we communicate, we'll be able to sort out all of these challenges one way or another. And that will also make it possible to balance our work, our life, but not even more than that, it will help us integrate it. So that's my speech on work-life integration. I hope that makes sense to you. So what do you think, Lina?
Yeah, I think that the reality of today's busy agenda that everyone will have to work and have the responsibility with your family or your kids. So then I think it's important for every one of us being well planned our time for work and for family, thus we can manage it better and avoid the unnecessary pressure to deliver both responsibility at the same time.
That's true. Well, thank you very much. Jenny, what are your thoughts?
I think being at the daddy and the mother like us, your story is very like related to fun. Personally, for me, yes, I'm in the same situation. Maybe I'm younger than you, but sometimes not sometimes always. I feel very struggling with those how to balance not just only work and family, but also my like something like my dream, my relaxing time, my spare time for myself. Yes, I cannot balance on. So it's still a hard question for me. And listen to your speech, I feel that it's not only for me, it's for everybody. So just relax and learn from each other, and everything can be solved.
Indeed, indeed. Wonderful. I hope my story did not stress you out too much. But all of these things are, you can balance them out. And just like I mentioned, today is Sunday, good for family day. But I'm going to do a little bit of work, and we're going to have an activity, come back and do a little of work again, an activity, and it's all fine without having to stress because we've communicated about it, and they understand that work and my life, they have to go together because we can't separate the two. Great. So now I am going to ask you a question. This time it's going to be along the lines of our warm-up. So I am going to start with you, Lena. I would like to ask you, if I had one wish, I would wish for. If I had one wish, I would wish for. What would, just to get to know you better, what is something that you would really wish for?
Wow, tough question.
Yes, it is.
Sorry, for this question. If I had, is it the wish in the past, it cannot happen, or the wish maybe for the future, and it can
Anytime, past, future, even if you want to use your imagination and go beyond what we know as normal, go for it. If you could wish for anything, what would it be?
Honestly, I'm a very practical person. So I normally plan myself for whatever I want to achieve rather than wishing it. So it's like first time ever I think, what do I want to wish? But if you ask me what is my plan going forward, I would plan myself very well to support my kids' development, because they are now my older daughter, she's grade 7, and the younger is grade 1. So the daughter, she need to be aware of her studying and also preparing for her high school period. Maybe she want to go overseas to study, or maybe she decided to stay in Vietnam to study. So I think I wish that my daughter, she's more conscious on what she's studying, and she also be able to plan well for her future.
Wonderful. And that is a wish of many parents. I think children don't really understand how much we think about them.
Yeah.
That's so true. So if you had a wish, you would use it on your daughter. Well, I think a lot of parents would. Jenny, if you had one wish, what would you wish for?
If I had one wish, if I have a chance to come back to my past, especially when I was in university, I wish I will. I mean, I will choose another subject to learn at. Yes. When I finished my university, especially when I joined many clubs at my university, I figured out that I'm really excited when in English. I like speaking English and I like to listen in English, and especially I like to be public speaker like Mr. Harry. But yeah, the university environment helped me to empower it, to enhance it. But my major is not related to it. It's about cooking. It's about sewing and I mean, I learned everything to be a good wife. I mean, about a cook, makeup, make a cocktail, the how to take care of children, all kinds of that. Yeah, but it's not related to what I want to be. So I wish at that time I figured out my hobby and I have a chance to learn an English major. So then I can be more professional, more master, and especially good at more grammar. What I lack of a lot, especially vocabularies, I often need to learn by myself. So it's linked to now. I'm 29 years old. I'm working. I take the job, my associate engineer. Actually, it's a 99% depend. I got it based on the hard working, not my intelligence. But it's not for me. So I'm still struggle with that, and it's bring me a good economic, good finance to take care of my family. Beside that, to like to improve myself for my dream to be a public speaker like Mr. Harry. I need to learn it at night, even at the weekend. I take time to learn, so it's very hard. It's very struggle even when you, especially when you have small family, you don't have enough time to do own. So I wish I come back to university to study English major, and then I take a job related to English or public speaking, something like that. And then now maybe will be different. I don't to need to do to still to spend much more time, and then spend more time with my family. So it's my wish.
Awesome. And I'm sure you're not the only one who has that wish. If you asked me if you told me in my university days that I am going to be doing public speaking or teaching public speaking and presentation skills, no. No, it's not what I studied at all. And I find that what makes it interesting is, especially if you do something that you are interested in and good at, it helps you come up with content to be a public speaker. So for example, there was a gentleman I met in India. I was giving a Toastmasters speech, and he told me that he wanted to be a public speaker, but he had one big problem, that when he was studying or when he was in school, what happened was his parents did not allow him to do anything. No sports, no movies, no playing outside. He just had to study. And he studied to become a computer engineer. And that's all he knows, computer engineering. But he wants to be a public speaker. How on earth is he going to do that? And I actually pointed out that he's actually pretty lucky, because now he is such an expert that he can take something about computer engineering, look at the problems or the things that it addresses for people, and he can use that to have content for his public speaking. So the same thing with your engineering, all of that stuff, You can actually take it and use it as an analogy or an example or as a poem. For example, I told a story about my life in advertising, and yet it still has something about life-work integration.
Yeah, it's good advice. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, so I only started public speaking at 41. So trust
Yes.
me, you have all the time in the world.
All the time. Yeah, I like it. Thank you.
Great. Kim,
I'm sorry because I used my friend Nick. So my name is Han, everyone. Yes.
Han.
Yes, Han.
Great.
Hi, everyone.
How are you doing, Han?
Yes, it's nice today. Very nice. It's shining. Just come from come outside, come back. Yes.
All right,
So what is
great.
yes. Well, what is the topic today?
So today, I just gave a speech about life-work integration, but after that, we are just talking very quickly about a topic, just to get to know each other a little bit.
Yeah.
So I would like you to answer this question that's going to show up on your screen.
Oh,
If
nice.
I had one wish, what would sorry, I can't even see what it says. If I had one wish, I would wish for.
I see. So, if only one wish, I wish for the healthy. Yes, because this time health was so important.
That is
And
so
if
true.
you don't have healthy, you can't do everything. Sure.
That is very, very true. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do and where are you from?
Yes. Hi everyone. I'm Han. I'm in a logistic company, and now I'm in Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. And how about you, with Harry?
Well, I am from a place called Namibia. That's where I live. I was born in a country called Zambia, which is close to Namibia, but somewhere in the south part of Africa. So that's where I am right now. And it's only about 10 o'clock in the morning here. And
really?
Yeah, it's almost 10 o'clock in the morning where we are. And I love public speaking. I love teaching. And that's how I ended up in my profession, even though I didn't study for it. I just took what I enjoyed, what I'm good at, put them together and make it work.
I see. We all have the passion of public speaking, that we can show our opinion fluently and everybody can, and actually I'm not very good at that, and I'm on the study to how to persuade everybody and let them understand what I'm meaning, what I say. Yes, I'm on the study. So please help me and teach me more.
Great. Now we will do a little bit of an evaluation today. All of us are going to get a topic. You'll have a little bit of time to prepare. I'm sure that you have done a couple of courses and lessons with EIY. And
Sure.
so I would like you to incorporate everything that you have learned into your speech. And then everybody gets to deliver a speech and we all do evaluations. And what I like about evaluations is it's not just to tell you what you did well or what you did badly, but it's also to help you realize where your strengths are and also give suggestions on what else you can improve on, what you can add in order to even become better. So the fact that we're all having a conversation here today, we are already in a very good place in our public speaking. If you think about it, you're going to deliver an international speech today.
I'm not that strange, but let's
Great.
hmm.
Let me, I saw someone joining our, let's see, somebody, Anne, are you there?
Yes, but I'm sorry. I'm staying in a coffee shop and very noise, so I'm afraid that I will annoy other people.
All right, no problem. I can, but when you were speaking, it was very nice and clear. So I would like to ask you one question. If you had one wish, you would wish for, what would you wish for?
Yes, I got your question. Let me think just a few minutes.
Okay, great. So while Anne is thinking, everybody has shared what they wish for. Lena, sorry, am I pronouncing it right? Lena?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Okay, great. Lena, you'd wish that your daughter would know what to do, whether she wants to go abroad and that sort of thing. And, just like any parent would, and I totally agree. My son just started high school. And Jenny, you wished that you could go back in time and change your major. But maybe you don't really have to. Han, you said you wish for health because health is a very important thing, and that is very true. You could get everything you ever wanted, but if you're not healthy, you won't be able to enjoy it. That's so, so true. And Anne, now it's your turn. If you had one wish, what would you wish for?
Actually, now I just have the strong wish, but that's a personal thing for me. I want to travel to many countries. So
Yeah.
yeah. So at the moment now, I just think that I really want to travel to other countries.
That is a very good wish to have. In fact, when you travel, it opens your mind, you experience different cultures, you learn so, so much. So that is a very, very good wish. I wish the same thing. And I'm actually hoping, I've been, because of all the classes I've been doing it with EIY, I would love to travel to Vietnam.
So,
Yes.
so before you didn't travel to Vietnam?
I've never been there before.
You never been there before. I see. So how is your country? Is it very hot there? Like here?
It is a hot country, but winter is coming in for us. So things are cooling down. It's when I was sitting here in my little office at home, it was 9 degrees Celsius outside.
Wow, 9 degrees.
No, 9 degrees, just 9.
Just 9. Wow.
9, yeah. But during the day, it'll probably get to 25 maybe, because now it's 18.
Whoa, so different from the day and night, right?
Big difference.
Yeah, big difference. I see.
Because we have it's a very desert-like country. It's very dry, so you get very extreme temperature differences.
Yeah, I see. It's not like Ho Chi Minh during the day and night is still the same hot. Just only.
So that's the reason the coffee shop like this is very crowded, because everybody, yeah, very hot, and they gather in the coffee shop with the air condition. Like it's very crowded.
And chit chat together. Yeah, chit chat together at the coffee shop is more comfortable than outside. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, no, and no wonder some of us went swimming today. I can understand. Great. Let's move on with our program. And unfortunately, you missed my little speech on work-life integration, but I will summarize at the very end. Let's go into the next part of our session today. So we're now going to talk about, we're going to now go into our prepared speeches. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to prepare a speech, and the speech, I have some speech titles for you, and you get to choose one of them. And I would like your speech to be about, 2 to 3 minutes, so that everybody has a chance to share the speech, to share their speech. And then we also have time to evaluate each other's speech. So we can share ideas, and I will give a final evaluation on everybody's speech, so that, again, we can look at the ways to improve, so that we can be better in our speaking and presentation skills and things like that, both technical and also some of the practical things that we've learned. So you take everything that you've learned from EIY, put them together, give us a very short speech. So keeping with the same theme that we did, for my speech, which was work-life integration, you're also going to give a speech on work-life integration. But I'm going to have to give everybody a different topic. If I gave you 3 minutes, or let me say, if I gave everybody about 5 minutes to prepare, would that be okay? Okay, 5 minutes to prepare. Remember, it's a short speech. You're not trying to give us a TED Talk or a keynote speech of 45 minutes. Just share 1 or 2 points, but try and use as much as you have learned, as much as possible. So who would like to, okay, so I would like all of you to pick a number between 1 and 5. So let me start with Jenny. Jenny?
Yes. 1 to 5. Okay. 1.
You pick number 1. Okay, Jenny, you are going to get topic number 1. And you'll find out soon enough. And then Lena?
2.
You picked 2? Okay. Well, okay, right. And Han, what number would you like? Between 3 and 5?
There is not number 4.
4? You want number 4? Great. So Han, you get number 4. And you can choose between number 3 or number 5. What number do you want?
Yeah, I picked number 3.
You pick number 3. Wonderful. Great. And I will show you your topics right now. So remember the number that you picked.
Okay.
And here are your questions. So number 1, I love my job. How do I keep it from taking over my life? So that's going to be your topic, Jenny. That's your number 1. Lena, you chose number 2. So your topic is, have you ever disregarded your personal commitments due to work? Please share one experience with us.
Okay.
So this might be like the story I shared. And then Anne, you picked number 3, right?
Yes.
What benefits?
I like my topic.
You like your topic? Great. What benefits are focused on work-life balance? Yeah, you chose a great topic as well. And Han, you chose number 4. What are some causes of work-life? Yeah, what are some causes of work-life balance? How can you manage your burnout at work? So we'll look at that.
That's a wonderful topic. This is the situation that I meet nearly.
Oh, wow, great. So that just shows that everybody has picked a topic that suits them. So I'm going to leave the topics on the screen and I will give you about 5 minutes. So which means, because right now it's 4 minutes past. So at 10 past, we will get started on our speech.
Teacher, can I have a question?
Sure.
Taking over, it means spend the, for my topic. Taking over, it means I spend not as I show my idea whether should or should not spend all the time with the job because I love it, right? Like overwhelmed with the job.
Yeah. So So to take over is like to overwhelm. It's to control. So how do you keep, if you enjoy your job, great, but how do you stop it from taking over your life and controlling everything you do?
Okay, so one more question. Can you share me any tip like to take note in 5 minutes or even in 2 minutes preparation to be more effectively? Sometimes I write down what I think in the vocabulary in word by word, or what I think out I write down. But sometimes is it good, and how to organize, how to use 2 minutes the most effectively for preparation?
Great. Well, I keep saying this to my friends and to my colleagues. One of the things I remember my art teacher telling me in high school, he said, if you have 2 seconds to do a drawing, draw a 2-second drawing. Which means don't go for details and coloring and shading. Draw a stick figure, a circle, a line, a line, a line, a line, and make a person. That's it. You have had 2 seconds to do that drawing. It's still a drawing. Same thing with your speech. If you have 5 minutes to prepare a speech, prepare in a way that allows you to have everything together that you need in that short time. So don't write it out. Don't try and memorize it. I would say, for example, use the prep principle. Have your point, give your reason, give an example, and state your point again. And that's a whole speech already. So know what point you want to make or what idea you want to share. And then you put it in a format like that, or talk about the pros and cons, advantage, disadvantage, things like that. And use the examples you're comfortable with. So that way you don't have to write, you know your own story and example.
Yes. Thank you, teacher.
Great. We'll see each other soon.
After that, I found a way to do and to find a way to solve the problem. And I'm so happy that I have my team to support me. That's why people say that teamwork was so important, because in the after I give the how to do, they were running very good, and they can do smoothly to solve the problem. So when you meet the burnout in the work, let's just pause, and and after that everything will be okay. Yes, thank you for hearing.
Thank you very much. So when burnout is coming around the corner, pause, because sometimes you just need to take a little bit of time out to get a better perspective. Thank you very much for that, Han. I appreciate the speech.
Sorry,
Yep.
Han. May I ask about your job? Because it's quite, I'm quite familiar about that. You are working in the apparel factory.
No, I'm doing the forwarder company. Forwarder.
Yeah. Because before that, I'm the merchandiser, and I understand totally
Yes, you
what's your
understand that,
problem.
right? Yes, we need to.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Wow, it sounds very intense. So Anne, you're next, and your topic is number 3, which is what benefits are focused on life-work balance. Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right,
okay.
take it away.
Yes. As I mentioned earlier, I'm very like this topic because I was thinking about this for a long time. Um, Let me talk about my job before. I was a merchandiser. I work in the factory. Um, the product is the garment, and I always struggling with the problem. This happen every day because as my position, I'm the person, the key person to control everything from the from develop the sample until the shipment and work with customer and many vendor in Vietnam. And the problem happen whatever morning, afternoon, or evening. Sometimes it happen in the midnight, and need the person to solve that immediately because the value of the shipment is very big, very huge amount, and I have to involve immediately. So it is the reason I cannot uh, ensure about work-life balance. My own time just focus to my work, even weekend, Saturday or Sunday. Yeah, and I feel that I lost my life. But yeah, because the responsibility is very high, and you have to make sure everything going smoothly. Yeah, and I was find I was think and want to find another way to live, to stop this status. And until 2020, I decided to stop. And I take 3 months just stay at home and uh, go to somewhere uh, to think again. Maybe that job is not my is not my strength, and I had to find the solution to balance between work and my life. And after that, I already changed my job from merchandiser to be the software engineer. So now I'm the software engineer, and I'm happy to say that my now I can do the work-life balance. So what's the benefit? Uh, I so now I can control my uh, my working time. I can manage my time. And, um, on the problem, I can control until 8 hours working, 8 working hours, and after that, when I back home, I can take a rest and learn something new. Just lay down on the bed like that, and um, uh, I also can do some exercise, and it's good for my for my health. Yeah, and I'm happy about that. So that's I think that's it. Really, the big benefit if you can ensure that uh, if you can do the work-life balance. Yes. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Anne, and very inspiring story. I'm actually glad you decided to take 3 months off. Just take a step back. Same thing that Han was saying. Take a step back. It might be for 5 minutes, might be for 3 months, might be for 2 years. But at the end of the day, if it allows you to strike that balance, avoid burnout, and get you to a place where you are functioning better, not just as an employee, but as a person, it's well worth it. Thank you so much for that. So our next speaker is going to be Lena.
Okay, thank you. And hello again, everyone. My name is Lena. So I'm going to share with you about my topic. Sorry, I have some issue. 1 minute. Okay. Firstly, let me share a bit about myself. I'm currently a purchasing, working as a purchasing department. However, I have like different backgrounds, so I think my story very much similar to you, Anne, and also your wish, Miss Jay. I couldn't remember your name. So I have 10 years in finance before I decided to switch my career to procurement function. So now I'm working at procurement for 6 years. And yeah, the story started with the time that I have decided to left finance. However, I still in the progress to finish one of my finance qualification, which is the certified accountant from UK. Actually, it's a very tough qualification to get, and especially for us as the people who work, who have family, and then study at the same time. Then I realized that sometimes I have disregarded my studying commitment due to work. It actually comes from two main reasons. The first reason that when I'm committing myself for study, opening the textbook, try to do the exercise work, and then I realized that that topic is very much relevant to the work that I'm still pending at my company. So I get back to finish my work in the company because it's more prioritized. Yeah, and second reason actually is the key reason why I keep disregard my studying commitment for work, because I am a more practical person. So I prefer myself practicing the theory, but actually in real life, I learn from it rather than looking at the textbook, try to remember it by heart, and also try to solve all the math problem on the book. So again, that's the reason why I prioritize my work more than my studying. And I got the very bad consequence that I still owning the last subject from my qualification. So I'm trying every day, trying to study it a bit every day and trying to focus more on studying in order to complete it. Then I can get back to my work and fulfill my interest. So in summary, I have sometimes disregarded my studying commitment for work. Firstly, because my studying subject somehow relevant to my daily work. And the second reason is I'm a practical person. So I do prefer practicing things to learn rather than reading and learning all from the theory. Yeah, thanks for listening. Can't hear you, Harry. You need to unmute yourself.
Sorry about that. I was saying thank you very much, Lena. That was a very, very inspiring speech. And yeah, thanks for bringing. I'm going to do my review. I've made my notes. So each of you are going to get feedback. And our final speaker is Jenny. Jenny, are you ready?
Yes. Can you hear me well, right?
Can hear you perfectly.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. So I think we after I heard your own story, your life, I think we have a lot in common. We have our we are the busy, even the young generation, or even lady mama of our son. We all so super busy, and we have a lot considering a lot like the sadness and worrying about your life. Sometimes we all feel stressful. I think we have the same situation. For my case, I'm working as an associate engineer. So imagine that. Have you ever feel like you at night you're sleeping with your daughter, and then this is a call from your college, and you need to answer. So sometimes to complete your task and your work, the people around you, they feel they blame on you. They shout at you like, Jenny, why you should not turn off the phone in the sleeping time? It will bother your daughter, your children. It will bother everybody. Jenny, why you don't spend more time with the family to join the party? You don't you forgot me or something. So something like it's very hard to balance all the thing. So I'm on the kind of that person stressful too. So I read a book, and there is a very nice story I have read. I think you heard that at least one time in your life. So please, I would like to retell that summary, that story. Have you ever heard there is a professional? He bring a bottle in the classroom, and first he fill the bottle with a small gold ball. Yes. There's very small ball gun, and it try to put in the bottle. So he asked the student, do you think it's full? The student said yes, because they see there's a lot of golf balls in a bottle. It's full on. And then the professional take out a bucket of so now it's the marbles smaller than the golf ball, and they fill in. It's still there is another spaces for the marble get in. And next, again, the professional asks the student, is it full? The student say, yes, teacher, it's full. But after that, the professional take another bucket and of sand, another bucket of sand. He's still filling, and it's on overwhelmed on the small hole around the box. So the question again, is it full? The student is answer still is full. At the last, the teacher bring out 2 bottles of beer, and he filling. And the last time, it's still he's able to fill in the beer because the water can flow into the bottle, in through the sand, the golf ball, and the marble. So it means that the golf ball represent for the major thing, important thing in your life, like your family, your children, your health, your friend, your passion. The things that if you lose it, you cannot. If you lose the other thing, you still can live. You still can live, and you still can live. And the marble thing, the smaller thing, is represent for like the job, your house, your vehicles. And the last is the sand. It represents for the small things. So I mean, to balance yourself, you need to set the prioritize your life. You need to ask what is the most important, the second and the last. And if at the first time you fill with the beer or the sand, and then you won't have enough space for the golf and the marbles. So please fulfill your life with the top priority, and then the second set prioritize. So even if you're very busy, you still have time for beer. It means for it to relax yourself. So I love that story, and this is my I always ask myself that and balance myself. So I hope this story will be help you some way or another to balance our time and our lives will be better and enjoy our life. Yes. So thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Jenny. That was a very, 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 how do I say, very inspiring story. And you're right, I've heard that illustration before, but every time I hear it, it still makes so much sense. It is relevant. It doesn't lose its value. It's a very important lesson. Thank you, everybody, for sharing. Now I want to see, let's see, there we go. Everybody is here. So how are your general feelings? How do you think the speeches went?
You mean think of our own speech or another speech? Just...
Let's start. In fact, let's go in order. Everybody, we're all going to evaluate each other's speeches. We are not, it's a safe learning environment. We're not here to hurt each other's feelings or criticize, but rather to give some feedback, you know, and here's some things I would like you to think about. What did the person do well? What did they do well, and what should they continue doing? Or what did they do that maybe they shouldn't do so much in future? They should work on leaving that behind. And what should they continue? So what do you need to improve? What you need to stop, and what you need to continue. If we can just keep them short, if you can't think of anything, no pressure. This is just about helping each other improve. So we're going to start with Hans' speech. So before anyone else speaks, Han, I'd like to find out, how did you feel about your speech?
First, my speech, after listening to another friend speech, I realized that there is some point that it's quite much my idea, but I didn't say up. Like we can do the exercise for take up the pressure, and yes, that's some point. And the second thing is it seems like I'm not very good at the structure. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I need to practice more. Yes, a bit of that.
Wonderful. Does anybody want to give Han some feedback? What were when you listened to Han's speech, what were you thinking? What did you notice?
I have a compliment for her. I don't know why, but when I listen to her accent, her English accent, I feel very warm and very close, very cozy. Maybe, yeah, she speaks English. I like her accent. It makes me feel she's friendly person.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
That's true. That's very, very true. Anybody else?
I like your voice, Han, and also your gestures. You have a very natural, calm, and confident gesture while you speak. That I believe you do the best among us.
Wow, wonderful. Thank you for all feedback. Just give me some, yes, more. I'm not good sometimes. Yes.
Awesome. Next speaker was Anne. Anne, how did you feel about your speech?
Yes, in my speech, I try to give a lot of information about me, but maybe I'm same the problem with hand. My structure also not good, and I think that you some case you have um, to guess to just catch the key point to understand what I'm talking about. So I hope that in the future I can improve that, and everybody can understand me better. And also now I also practice and improve for my pronunciation to speak English more clear and close with the native person. And yeah, I'm trying to improve that.
Great. Anybody got anything to say about Anne's speech?
For me, I like your speech, An Vương, because I think it's very clear. You give the background about your work, the pressure that you got, and your decision to change to another work, and that become your solution to bring to the happy ending story. So I like it. For me, it's very clear and well structured.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Anybody else?
I think that you're very brave. You're brave that you're you see that you're not suitable for that job, and you just very brave to take out and change the job. In some case that is somebody that is quite hard for that, and some just I have some that maybe you want to tell the story, and maybe we need to shorten the story. Yeah, shorten some, just tells the main point. Yes.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you.
Wonderful. Now, anybody else? No? Okay, next speech. Lena, how did you feel about your speech?
I'm trying to practice, and I think as similarly to the other one, I'm so concerned about having the right structure of my speech in order to make it easier for the audience, and also clearer on my concern. But then for me, I think I forgot something about the solution to solve it. I have yet mentioned about it.
Right. I see. Okay, great. Does anybody have anything to comment on Lena's speech?
I can see that in the Miss Lena speech, I can see that she have a lot of experience in the job and in the life, and that also shares a lot of experience that very good for it.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Jenny, you were going to say something?
Yeah, with Lena, I feel that she, as she says, she's practical, and when she show herself, I feel the practical from her. She's I think she's very good. She expertise in business. She can talk about business topic very clearly, and the core she used the vocabulary she used very like the key vocabularies, not too long. It's very short, but it's the key important thing. So I like that from you, and maybe you should be more yes, you smile like this to make your speech more outgoing, more open, and we feel closer to you.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I also impressed with Miss Lina because you encourage us to keep going and try to hit our target. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. 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 This is awesome, awesome, awesome feedback. And finally, Jenny. Jenny, how did you feel about your speech?
Honestly, I feel disappointed about my speech. It feels like I have a lot of ideas, but even I learned the structure from EIY, but to apply it is not easy. And how to shorten the sentence, but still keep the full meaning from that is not easy. So sometimes I have a lot of repetition, and it's quite long, so it may make everybody fall sleepy. So I think I should practice more and learn more vocabularies, more variety vocabularies to avoid the repetition. Yes.
All right. Well, interesting. I'll give my comments. So anybody got any words for Jenny?
I think you know well about your weakness, but then you should know that you are very inspired speaker, because in a very short time, you can pick up a story and relevant it to the topic that you have to share with us. And that's very clear and easy for us to learn from you, and also from the story that you read from the book. So it's very helpful. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Actually, I'm not sleepy when you speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you are very confident when you share the story to us, and I can understand that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I see that there is so much worry about Miss Jenny. She know her weakness, but actually that's all that's a weakness of everybody in the public speaking, right? But what is the Miss Jenny have is very confident, and also the very good at shorten the story that sharing us, that it can inspire us a lot. That's very nice.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Great. And I'm now going to give my feedback for all of your speeches. So not to take too much time and not to bore anybody, I would like to basically, I'm just going to summarize and see which points, cut across the board and things like that. So I'm going to start with Jenny. Number one, the first thing about your speech and about your speaking is you make it so relatable. When you were describing your story, I could feel the emotions that were coming up. I could even hear the voices that I hear when you were relaying the story and talking about some of the challenges that you have to deal with. And that is a very, very powerful tool, because as a public speaker, it's not about you, it's about your audience. So if you can bring out your speech in such a way that your audience feels like they're part of it, you have already won the battle. And that is why when you said you thought you'd make us feel sleepy, I even have on my piece of paper right here, sleepy with a big question mark. Not at all. And said it himself. No way. There was no way that we could make it, that you would, make me feel sleepy. The fact that you shared a story that, that I've heard before, I've seen the illustration, I've watched the video, but you still kept me captivated is a very powerful thing. Sometimes, and here's the truth about public speaking, very often there's information we're going to share that people already know, but it's not about whether they know it or not. It's about how you share it. So the energy with which you shared it made it, it's like that movie that you want to watch again, or that song that you want to keep listening to. It doesn't matter whether they've heard it before, but the way you share it can give a new feeling to an old story. And that is a very important thing. So you need to know that that is one of your strengths and figure out a way to keep using it and to capitalize on it. And yeah, so I think personally, you just need to be more confident. Slow down, breathe. In fact, you have a very good smile. Smile when you speak. When you're sharing your frustrations and your importance, yes, that's not the right time to smile because you don't want to say, it's the worst thing to happen, and you're smiling. Yeah, you bring out the emotions already, so that's great. But when you're making your point and when you're winding down your conversation, it was a very warm and happy ending. Bring out that smile, slow down. You don't have to use big, long sentences. You can take gaps and allow us to process and think about what you're saying. So that's my feedback to you. And the fact that you used an analogy and a story, brilliant. It always makes it easier. That way, you don't have to worry about memorizing things or reading because you know it already. So just share it from your heart. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Lena, my feedback to you, when you say you're a practical person, it is so evident in your speech. It is very, very evident. You are the only one who pointed out my first point, my second point, and in summary. Yes, you have structured your content in such a way that you can allow us to follow what you're saying. Now that you've finished this, let's move on to the next thing. And now that we've done that, let's move on to the final. And that's very good because it helps us understand and it also helps us follow what you're sharing. The one thing that you said, you forgot to bring the solution. So you totally focused on getting the structure right, which is good to do that. Structure is not a bad thing at all. But don't forget your main point. Your main point is so important. Always ask yourself, even when you're structuring your speech, in fact, even before you start to structure your speech, because it will determine what goes in point number 1 and point number 2, and it will also help you make you a very powerful summary. Why am I telling this story? Why am I giving this speech? So what? Why should people listen to me? And when you answer that question, keep it in mind so that when you're doing your structure, everything is going to point to it. So that when you do a summary, it ties everything together. And it's that big reveal of, oh, that is true. And it will make it more memorable. But otherwise, absolutely brilliant. You spoke very well. You controlled your pace. So easy to listen to, easy to follow. And you structured, also making it easy to understand. And then you gave a summary. Brilliant. So keep doing that.
Thank you, Harry. Very useful.
Wonderful. Just keep in mind, what is your point? Why are you speaking? And everything will be okay. So just keep practicing. I think we lost Anne. Maybe he lost the signal at the cafe. But I am recording this. I hope that he'll be able to get the recording from Miss Lang An. And wow, what a, oh, he's coming back. I think, let me give him a few seconds to connect. Welcome back, Anne. I was just
Sorry?
about to give, I'm saying welcome back. I was just about to give you your feedback. So great. So when you were working in the garment factory and, oh wait, before I get into your speech, I want to compliment you on something that you did that was very important. And I think maybe you might not have noticed, but I think it's something that you just need to keep in mind so that you can be more deliberate about it, is you are in a loud place. And you made sure, or you did your best to make sure that you minimize the distraction from the background. That is very important. It shows that you are a speaker that pays attention to the needs of the audience. And I must applaud you for that. So well done. Yeah. So keep your audience in mind. So that's very, very, high note, good point. Now, if there's something that I'd like you to improve on when it comes to your public speaking, you told us about the challenges. You told us about the stress. You told us about you also told us about the solution. Great, we've got the information. But there's something about public speaking or communication that is more important than information, believe it or not. Even though we're using words and sharing information, people are going to forget the words you say. What they'll remember is how you made them feel. Now, I can't remember the details of your job. I do remember there were challenges, but to make it more impactful, because you did a great job at describing, at explaining, I would like you to pay more attention to describing it. So let me say it like this. Instead of saying, let me try and think of an example. It is very stressful because things go wrong, right? That's a fact. That's information. It would help if you say, I would have to go through stressful situations like you have a shipment that has to arrive at a certain time. If it doesn't arrive at that time, the risk is losing so much money to the amount of 500,000 US dollars, which is not a good thing to happen. Then we start to understand that, okay, things are stressful, things are on edge. And here you are with all the responsibility on your shoulders. So you explain how that burden is your challenge, it's your problem. And if it goes wrong, your fault. So you are always on edge trying to find solutions and things like that. So I hope it's clear that it's one thing to tell me it's stressful. It's another thing to kind of describe why it is stressful so that me, who does not work in a garment factory, who does not have to deal with logistics, that I get to understand your challenge. That is what you want to do with your audience. Always paint a picture so that whether they understand or not, whether they are in the same work or not, they will understand what you're talking about. So that's my advice to you. And I love the fact that you have a very inspiring story of how you took the brave step. Han said it, very brave, to just step back and reevaluate and do it. A lot of times people will just, power through and hope things just change for the better. For some people that might work. And in other situations, sometimes we have to be honest with ourselves to the point that we say, you know what, maybe a change in direction. So kudos on you for finding that balance, finding a way to balance your life, not just getting your work done, but also doing things for yourself. Well done. And that resonates with Jenny's speech very much, the whole golf balls and the little sand, and we always have to have time for beer. Time to relax, so well done on that. So, and you painted a real good picture on how stressful it was, even though you didn't do it on an emotional level. The facts you were sharing managed to do that job for you. So if you can combine those two, facts and emotions, and you make them work, you would have such a powerful story to share. And Han, I must say, so the first thing I noticed about when you're speaking, your emotions came through. Absolutely just came right through. There was no way we could ignore it, which tells us one thing: you are being genuine. There's something about audiences. When you're not genuine, your audience can pick it up. When you're not authentic, when you're not being real, if, for example, if I'm trying to sell you something, or I'm trying to convince you that I'm stressed and I'm not stressed, you'll pick it up. You'll know, this person's just speaking for the sake of speaking. But you were not. You were speaking from the heart. You really helped us understand that, oh my goodness, this is a really stressful job. I don't understand it, but boy, oh boy, I need to be careful if I'm going to decide to do Hans' work. And the fact that you are able to convey your emotions clearly and bring that across, that's a powerful thing. Don't lose that. Something that you should continue. Now, this is what I would like you to improve on. I need you to trust yourself. I noticed that while you were speaking, you were reading a lot. Am I correct?
Yes.
I'm correct. Okay.
I'm not down, and do some work. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So here's
vocabularies, and my English vocabulary is not good, and I worry about it. Say no
great.
the grammar, the grammar.
So here's the thing. As much as it is good to be able to have good grammar and good vocabulary, what did I say the most important part of the speech is? Is it the information? Is it the technical part? Not necessarily. It's about communicating, getting the message across. I know it's important, yes. And here's the thing: the grammar and the vocabulary will come with time, but the ability to communicate is something that you can work on right now. So like I said, if you're going to worry about your vocabulary and grammar, it means that you don't trust what you have. I used to teach English as a second language. And one thing I noticed, and I don't know if it might be the same with you, is maybe you think in your native language or the language you're comfortable in, and then you want to communicate. You see, if you can see my hand, this is the level of your language. This is the level of your English. But because you're thinking in this language, you want your English to come and match it. Don't do that. Work with the English you have to communicate on your level. So if you use a fancy word in Vietnamese, doesn't mean you should use a fancy word in English. Keep it simple. If you use long constructive sentences in your language, doesn't mean you have to do the same in English. You can keep it basic, but still communicate the emotions and the seriousness of the message, even with using not just your words, but your body language. Lena mentioned that you used gestures. Your gestures are part of your communication. Your facial expressions are part of your communication. In fact, Lena, that's also that, you know, someone mentioned it. Smile more, use your facial expression. That makes you, you know, as technical as you are, still makes you more human. At the end of the day, we're interested in you. So same thing with you, Han. You're using your emotions, your voice comes out, your hand gestures are there. So trust all of it, not just your vocabulary and grammar, but your entire communication. So trust yourself when you speak. You know the story, you know the emotion. If it's 1 or 2 words that you just have to remind yourself of, that's fine. But don't stress yourself to the point of thinking that you need to really have that you know, all the fancy words written out. And you shared your solution, which is great. So that's good. And finally, I think one asset that was mentioned, you have an amazing voice. It's very soothing, it's very warm, and it's very friendly. So that makes it very engaging. So when you speak, we want to listen naturally. So we already want to listen. So you have our attention, and when you trust yourself, you'll be able to use that to your full advantage. So that's my feedback for all of you. I hope it helps, and there's some things that you can take away and use to keep growing as speakers. And congratulations on doing an international speech. You were speaking in Namibia because I'm listening from here. So well done. A whole other continent. So give yourselves a hand. Now I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. Are there any comments or anything else that comes to mind?
I gotta say that thank you so much for your feedback, and it very helped me for a lot. And is there another meeting at next week?
I don't know. I can't say. Miss Lang An would probably know that better than I would. And so I think you're in communication with her. You could communicate and ask. Yeah, please. Yeah. I don't want to lie to you.
So because I have some meeting, so thank you for everyone, and I'm just leaving first. See you next time. See all of you.
Very nice meeting you, Han. Oh, and
nice to meet you too.
Great. So what we're going to do now very quickly is I would like you to vote. I think because we had a lot of us have left already.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to vote. But anyway, I guess we're gonna have to miss out on that. Everyone was going to vote on their favorite speech, but I think because we all gave feedback with everybody, it gives a good idea on what we all thought. I think you all did an amazing job. So with that, I think we're going to wind down our class. Jenny and Anne, do you have 2 more minutes to spare?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Great. And so the last thing we're going to do is an impromptu speech.
Impromptu speech. Speak without preparation.
Speak without preparation, just for 2 minutes. Is that okay?
Okay, so talk about what?
Great. So I want you to pick a number between 1 and 4, but this time I'm going to ask Anne to pick the numbers first. Between 1 and 4, what number do you want?
Sorry, I cannot hear clearly. I will choose between number 1 and number 2, right?
1 and 4.
Okay. Between number 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Yeah, again, I picked number 3.
Number 3. Okay, great. Let me share my screen with you. And number 3, this is your topic. Our first impressions accurate. Our first impressions accurate. So unprepared speech, we're going to listen to you now for 2 minutes. Please give us your impromptu speech.
Yeah. For this topic, I need to prepare.
Oh, no. This is impromptu. Just say what you think from the top of your mind.
Okay. First impression, accurate. I don't know about the meaning of accurate.
It means, is it correct? Can you trust it? So the first thing you think about a person or a thing, is it correct? Do you think it's reliable? That's what the question is asking.
The first impression accurate. The first, if it depends on the person when I have the conversation. I don't know how to describe it, but it depends on my feeling. Maybe maybe if I feel sad or I like that person, so I may just I don't know how to describe it.
No worries. At least you tried. That's the important thing, you know. Okay, I'll give a quick tip on how to handle a situation when you're not sure what to say. But first, Jenny, please pick a number, 1, 2, or 4.
4.
4.
Yes.
What can we learn from success and failure?
Okay. I think success and failure are both a thing we need to learn from. From the success, it will motivate. It will encourage to be better and better. It give us a positive feeling to move forward to the target we like. For example, if you receive the feedback and all of those just recommendation to the bad things about yourself, you will feel lost at the first beginning. You want to give up and think that it's not suit for you anymore. You need to change, but in fact, it's not. Everything has a good and bad, so don't just focus to the bad, but you still have something is good. So the success will have you that will help you to take you to the target, to the destination you want. Believe in your and trust in yourself, in your success. For the value, it will have you to know your weakness, to develop, to correct. It's yeah. I think both of them, like we both of them, they are own valuable. So for example, if okay, that's one is in my mind now. I try to make example and think more the idea, but my brain is, I lose my, I distract myself and I don't know what to say next.
No worries.
It's very
people often say that think out of the box. Sometimes I just focus on success bring what for you, failure bring what for you, and then no idea.
Yeah, no worries. Well done to both of you. So here's the thing. When it comes to impromptu speaking, sometimes you might not have what you want to say for the topic. So one of my coaches or one of my mentors always said, don't try and go through it if you're stuck. Then you really get stuck. Find a way to go over it, around it, or under it. So if it means telling a story, tell a story and then tie it back to what you want to say. Or use an example, when did you ever, so for example, with first impressions, when did you have a first impression about something? And you share that story. Once upon a time, I was given a plate of food when I went to visit someone at the village. And my first impression was, I do not think I'm going to like this food. And when I ate it, I asked for more. So that taught me that sometimes first impressions are not accurate because you never know whether you would like it or not. It's something like you don't have to complicate it. So same thing goes for Jenny. So even if you can't think of an example, it's fine because there's 3 speeches that people deliver. Number 1, there's the speech you prepared. Number 2 is the speech that you gave. And number 3 is the speech that you could have given. So it's not always going to go the exact way every single time, and which is fine. Nobody knows what your speech was going to be. So even if you don't give an example and you say, that's it, thank you, no one's going to be, hey, what about that example you're thinking about? Why don't you tell it to us? No one's going to think that way. So you just end it right there and then and say thank you. So I hope that helps. And thank you for taking part of the impromptu speaking. So that's my general review. There's always 3 types of speeches that people give. Prepared, the one that they gave, I prepared this, but this is what I said, and I could have said that. At the end of the day, trust yourself as a speaker and always find a way. Just remember that life is not in segments. Everything is connected. Just like Anne had to, in order for his work situation to be better, he also exercises and rests. And Jenny, with your situation and how things are going, make sure that you communicate so that people understand. And even if they don't, as long as you communicate and you know that you're doing the best thing and what is right. So at the end of the day, find a way to integrate everything and trust that whatever it is that you want to achieve and work on, you can. Because hey, like I said, I started public speaking at 41.
Yes, thank you. It's encouraged me a lot. Thank you.
I'm glad. And thank you so much for joining us. We had to go a bit over time because we started pretty late. Most only came in after an hour or so. But I feel that it was still a fruitful session, that everybody walked away with something. And I look forward to seeing you again. And I hope to see you doing your public speaking, and you can use everything that you've learned in engineering and all of that and your life experiences to share your story and to encourage people. So
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hope to see you next
Thank
time.
you. I feel today
Great.
very useful, and
Yes,
I'm sorry that because the meeting is suddenly and I didn't prepare the space and my laptop very well, so I'm sorry about that.
No, don't worry about it. I'm glad that we all got to meet and we all got to engage. And I must say, I was very impressed with all of your speeches and what you managed to come up with. Just keep practicing and everything will be fine. And I pulled my earphones out of my ears. Great. And
you so
on
much,
that note,
teacher.
take care. Have a great one. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Hi, Esther.
Who's that?
Okay.